All right. Let's see, guys. I've got a new tripod. See how much of it I can get on there. All right. All right. So we're going to do a quick Zodiac check-in. I'm going to go house by house. So Aries rising, Aries second house, Aries third house. I'm going to do one card for each house for each sign, okay? So if you don't know your chart, now would be the time to find out. As it says in my about section, you can always email me your birthday, time, and birth location. That is birth day, birth time, and birth location. And I will plug it into my Astro Gold app. I will take a picture of it, like screenshot, and send it to you. All right, so that you can get an idea of what your chart looks like. We're going to go right through the Zodiac. I'm gonna be quick about it, okay? I'm going to be quick about it. It's going to be 12 cards for each, one for each house, okay? We're going to start with Aries. And then I'm going to pull an overall guidance at the end. All right, so end of each sign, okay? So Spirit, please. Starting with Aries. What is going on per each house ruled by Aries? Aries rising, Aries second house, Aries third house, Aries fourth house, fifth house, sixth house, seventh house, eighth house, ninth house, 10th house, 11th house, 12th house. Okay, now how do you know if Aries rules the house? It starts the house. It is the primary sign that starts the house. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Knight of Wands. Top is the Four of Coins. So overall, Aries, you're holding on to something. Arian energy is holding on to something. And Spirit is telling you to be impulsive. Spirit's telling you to stop holding back. Stop trying to keep yourself under control. Like if your fire is telling you to make a decision towards a specific house, right? Depending on what house Aries rules for you, you're holding on to something that needs to be let go of and really need to just let yourself flow in the direction of your true desire when you're honest with yourself. All right. And cooperation will be the overall guidance. So Aries rising, Ace of Wands. This is a time for you to truly shine, be inspired, and start something completely fresh. All right, this is a great time for you to start something new. Aries second house, we got the Two of Swords. You're between a rock and a hard place with something. Second house, first house is the house of self. Second house is the house of possessions. So Aries second house, if you're considering a major investment, consider pausing, getting more information, or doing more research. Okay, especially because Mars is in Gemini right now. I wouldn't make any impulsive purchases. If your second house is ruled by Aries, I would do some more research and or find a better option. Okay, I would reflect on this a little bit more before making a decision. Third house, Aries, we've got the Judgment card. Now, third house is the house of communication, and education for me. I always view third house as both communication and education. And we've got the Judgment card. So if your third house of communication is ruled by Aries, then I would highly suggest reconnecting with someone from your past that you know your soul trusts for advice, someone who, no matter what the fuck has gone on in your life, no matter what kind of arguments you've been in with them, no matter if you're on speaking terms right now, like it doesn't even matter. Throw all of the past out of the window and reconnect with someone that advises you well. Okay? Someone who has always at heart had your best interest. All right? If you have Aries ruling your third house of communication, this would be a really good time to bring someone back from your past who is a really good sounding board for you. All right. Someone who honestly has never really given you bad advice. All right. Because they have your best interest at heart. They would never steer you wrong. They would never want to see you fail. They've always wanted to see you happy. You know what I mean? Connect with that kind of person. Even if you haven't spoken to them in a long time, and no matter what terms you guys ended on, even if it ended badly, I would reach out to them and reopen that door because you trust them. Your soul trusts them. Okay? If you have Aries ruling the fourth house of home, we got the Chariot card here. Aries, if you've got fourth house home, it is time to move. With the Chariot card, it is time to move. If you are being divinely guided in a specific direction or feel like it's a good idea to move, then you would be correct. All right, it is definitely time to move forward. If by chance this is relating more to in a maternal energy, because the fourth house of home can also represent the mother. If you are considering divinely moving forward with a very maternal energy, a very nurturing energy, this would be your time to make moves. Okay, this would be your time to make moves and really let yourself go in that direction. All right. So either moving homes outright, or moving in the direction of higher elevated relationship with a very nurturing person. Okay. Aries fifth house. Fifth house, if your fifth house is ruled by Aries, fifth house is passion, purpose, children, creative energy, sexual energy. It's all there. We got the Page of Pentacles here. So this is a time for you to create and or seize an opportunity that is fueled by desire. Okay, this is where you take confidence and gratitude for what you have available, tools and people and environments at your disposal that you can utilize, not use and abuse, but utilize and be grateful for in order to create a solid opportunity for yourself. If you have or need to plant seeds, this would be also be a great time to plant seeds. Also, if you're not planning on having children anytime soon, wear a condom. Okay, because pages can sometimes represent children, and we're talking about seeds in a very sexual house. Okay. Aries, sixth house. Sixth house is the house of health and service. All right, your greater service to humanity or community. And it's the Ten of Pentacles. So right now, it is probably most beneficial to your health if you are in fact focusing on building and solidifying the dream reality that you want. Focusing on your finances, focusing on your stability, focusing on your actual physical home, the purchase of a home, or working in a community home. Okay, if that is the kind of direction you may have considered taking the lead in that direction. And if you are, in fact, looking at purchasing a home, I think it would greatly improve your your stress levels. I think it would help decrease your stress. Having your own home, especially if you are living with other people that you tend to butt heads with. Um, and anything to do with community, if you're considering roommates and things like that, that might also be beneficial. Okay. You may also get a promotion. Hardcore. If you're thinking about applying for a promotion or thinking about going for a different job and applying for a different job, then this is your green light, go ahead. If you have Aries ruling your seventh house, all right, seventh house is the house of partnerships. We got the Six of Cups here, which means there's definitely a past life connection, someone who is very sacred to you in soul that you probably either need to reconnect with if you're not in communication with them, and you already know who the fuck I'm talking about because you would have got pinged from it right away. Or it is time to take the next step in that dynamic with this person. So if this is someone from past lives that you inherently feel really, really, really close to, then this would be the time to actually elevate your relationship status, you know, from just friends or friends with bennies to actual relationship, or if you're in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, to maybe getting engaged or something like that. If you're already married, no kids, it might be that time to bring children into the mix, right? It's about elevation of whatever relationship that you're in, because there's an equal emotional exchange between you and them. Is someone who feels extremely comfortable, someone you feel like you've known forever or have literally known forever, that your soul just, it loves theirs, you know what I mean? So Aries 7th house, that's what's going on with your check-in for September. Aries 8th house, we have the 8 of Cups. Now 8th house is death and regeneration, transformation, inheritance, legacy, and children. And we have the 4 of Cups. So 8th house, 4 of Cups. You may be missing an opportunity. You may be missing a sincere opportunity this month to do exactly that, to transform, to create legacy. You might be feeling a little lax, a little lazy, a little tired. Probably doesn't help that South Node's in Scorpio, which is the ruler of the 8th house. So make sure that you are not self-sabotaging Aries 8th house, all right? Because there's something you're resisting. I think you might be too focused on distractive energies you know you really shouldn't be involved with, and could probably be looking in a different direction altogether, okay? Aries 9th house with the Tower. Aries 9th house with the Tower, okay? The Tower in the 9th house. The 9th house is mental expansion and travel. So Aries ruling the 9th house, I would not travel with the Tower there. And I would also be very open to being humbled, because with the Tower here, it is a huge ego break. You probably have been looking at something very narrow-sighted, narrow vision, and really might have your mind blown wide open about the bigger picture if you have Aries in the 9th house. Okay? There is something that you probably assumed that you got royally wrong. Like, royally wrong. And you're gonna have to really kind of accept the fact that you're being humbled, that maybe you were wrong. Also, please do not partake in road rage. Okay, leave Roger road rage or Rhonda road rage outside of the car when you get in. Tell them they could fucking wait there in the driveway or the garage or the parking lot, and you're gonna go drive now, and they're not coming. Okay, that's Aries 9th house. Aries 10th house, we got the Lovers. So Gemini and energy, with the Lovers card, choices to be made. 10th house rules career, reputation, and the Father. So Aries 10th house, you have choices to make about who you are and what kind of character that you want to be remembered as. Okay? Do you want to be that person who is non-committal? Do you want to be that person that people can depend on? Do you want to be that person that always gives up? Do you want to be that person that can never make a decision? Do you want to be the leader, or do you want to be the follower? Like, what kind of reputation do you want to have? Like, this is a chance for you to redefine who you are, and you're choosing it in September. It's a big choice, okay? It's a big choice. Who are you? You know, are you the addict? Are you the player? Are you the person who is afraid of commitment, abandonment? Like, what kind of person are you? Are you the victim? Are you the hero? Are you the person who saves themselves or is constantly looking for a lifeboat from someone else? What kind of person are you? And this is what you get to choose, Aries, 10th house for September. Aries 11th house, we have the 9 of Wands. This is a wounded warrior / wounded healer, very Chiron energy kind of card. All right, so you may have Chiron aspecting your Aryan house from another cardinal sign like Cancer or Libra or Capricorn. Okay, you might have Chiron influencing your 11th Aryan house from another sign. But this is about, and in the 11th house is hopes and dreams and goals and things like that. Aries 11th house, whatever you've been shooting for lately, I think it's a false dream. I think it's a false dream with this card there. I think you may be feeling the drag, feeling beaten by going after this goal that is just not aligned in your highest good. You're probably aligning with the wrong group of people. You know, these are people who can't actually, even if they talk a great game, right? Even if they're in your social circle, right? If they're very close to you, like soul family, they might talk a great plan, but at the end of the day, it's not actually the plan that you desire. And it's draining your energy to keep chasing after it. I would let whatever it is that you've been after go and kind of reset to the dream that you really, really, really want, and trust yourself and being able to make it happen. And no matter how impossible it is, no matter how impossible it seems, like you're gonna have to go all or go home, like all or nothing, like now or never, let's go. You know what I mean? It's just that time. It is just that time to say, fuck it, what do I got to lose? This is draining, right? This is stressful. My dream is not actually coming to fruition the way I truly, truly wanted it to come to fruition. And so I've got to change direction, right? Instead of being the victim, I've got to become the creator. Life is not happening to me. I'm not waiting on life to happen for me. I'm going to take the directive and trust myself, right? Trust myself in the creation of whatever it is. All right. Aries, 12th house. We've got Justice, which is Libra, and your polar opposite sign. Now, the 12th house is the house of illusion, and self-undoing, which is essentially the house of fear. Okay, and we've got Justice here. So some of you may actually be fearing karma, fearing law or politics, fearing legal issues, and those types of fears are not going to set you in alignment. It's actually going to be detrimental to your health to stress over these things. Do not worry about karma that you owe or need to pay, or if you're suffering, if you're gonna suffer, like put that worry out of your head, because that is going to send you down the wrong path. That is your self-undoing. That's your undoing. If Aries starts your 12th house, it is Aries ruled 12th house. Please understand, you are not meant to suffer whatever karma you think you're going to be suffering. In fact, Justice is holding the sword there. It's the sword of truth. I suggest you tune into the truth and let the truth set you free. Because if you're lying, yeah, you're creating karma. If you're holding back secrets and you're not being transparent, you're not acknowledging what you really want in your subconscious, right? The thoughts that you keep to yourself. If you can't be honest, then yeah, you're going to end up in a situation where you're afraid to speak your mind, you're afraid to speak the truth, you're afraid to whatever, and you're going to completely undo yourself per karmic order. Okay? Per karmic order, your mind, especially because Mercury's going retrograde in Libra in September, you will mind fuck yourself out of what is essentially balance and harmony, okay, which is Libra in its light. So, whatever you think you owe the past, you're better off just being honest about the past. Why you did certain things, what you believed at the time. You know what I mean? Like Aries 12th house. Justice can let you off the hook and set you free, or Justin can let you suffer away in solitary. You know what I mean? Like, figure out if you're going to let your fears run the show, or if you're going to really override, tell your fears to fuck off and grab the balls of your life and just fucking go. You know what I mean? Go full-blown truth and see what happens, because you can't actually karmically fall when all of the truth is on the table. All right, the overall energy for Aries, we have cooperation. All right, remember cooperation in your quest to manifest the energy of love. You realize that every person and experience has value. Whatever you're going through right now, especially if you are making moves, considering moving, you're having aspects and challenges to certain houses, like 12th house would challenge 3rd house, would challenge 6th house, would challenge 9th house, because they're squared. So, you know, if you're having certain challenges to things, honestly, just remember that some things, no matter how long-term we've pictured them, are truly temporary. And no matter how temporary something may seem that it's over or whatever, sometimes it's long-term. Every single experience has a reason. Every person in your experience holds value to you in the divine mirror of life. And at some point, you just have to choose your mirror. You have to choose your mirror. You can look at the mirror around you and say, I don't like what's reflecting back to me. I don't like the way I feel. The way I'm feeling being projected back out to reflect for them. I don't actually like this mirror. I don't like this experience, the mirror of this experience, and I'm going to choose a new mirror. I'm going to choose a mirror that I think would feel really good, where I could be alive again and not feel like I'm just living to die. Okay? That's Aries. That's Aries. Now we're going to get into Taurus. I may end up doing multiple parts to this live, considering Aries just took like 20 minutes. I meant for these to be much quicker. All right, so let's see. Moving into Taurus. Taurean energy. I hope this setup gives you a bunch of different insight, right, for your charts. I felt it would be kind of fun to do it this way. All right, so Spirit, please. Taurus. Ooh, 1st house. Taurus, 1st house. 2nd house. 3rd house. 4th house. 5th house. 6th house. 7th house. 8th house. 9th house. 10th house. 11th house. 12th house. Overall energy on the bottom of the deck is the 3 of Swords with the Hermit on top. All right, listen, Taurus. Taurus, especially because Uranus is in your sign and North Node's going through there, and it's changing a lot of things. Like, understand heartbreak comes from not understanding what is essentially our intuition and the higher plan, and we get upset when we lose things, not realizing there's better things that are coming into balance. If you have to go on your own journey with the Hermit card on top, and you know you do, like, please don't be upset. I know that Taurus loves relationship and comfort, and sometimes when we deal with erratic planetary bodies like Uranus, it's not comfortable, it's not stable, nothing is consistent, you know what I mean? And it's stressful. So Taurean energy on the whole, if you have to just kind of face the demons in the shadows as they come up, and you're feeling things and thinking about things, like, understand it's to set you up with a new pattern to be more consistent, to be or create more stability, all right, to become more solid, all right. If you thought you built a solid foundation before, this is allowing you to become more solid, all right, more consistent and more solid. Overall guidance concerning Taurean energy is virtue. Okay, so Taurus rising. We got the Four of Wands. It flew out in the reverse. You know, the Four of Wands in the house of self. Okay, if you're Taurus rising, then it's the house of self. And it's feeling reversed like that. The lack of joy. The lack of joy. Okay. I'm going to keep it upright because I'm just holding space and intention for that to flip up for the rest of the month. But understand, if you are facing a lack of joy and it's become redundant, okay, and life is more drudgery, then you yourself, first house, need to shake shit up. Like, no one is responsible for your joy but you. So if you've been looking for other people to create joyous experiences for you, you're learning that joy is something you create from within. If no one is around to hang out, no one wants to Netflix and chill, no one wants to video game with you, and no one's on, like, find something that you can enjoy doing by yourself. Find something creative. Find that inner fire where your mind knows it's a good idea and your heart feels awesome doing it. You know what I mean? Allow yourself to really create your own soul fire, okay? That you're not dependent on the spark for anybody else to light you up, that you can light yourself. All right, Taurus rising. Taurus second house, Seven of Pentacles. You're probably not achieving the financial results that you want. You're definitely waiting, okay? I feel like you've put a lot of effort into something and it's just not time yet. So if you have Taurus second house for the month of September, don't get disheartened because it's just a matter of time before everything does truly come to fruition and it's ripe enough to harvest. It's just you're in that waiting period where you've put in a lot of effort and there's not much else you can do. Like, you can only de-weed around the tree and water the tree and whatever, cut the dead branches until the tree is immaculate, and the flowers are not going to turn to fruits any faster. You know, like, you can't do that part. It's just nature. So if you're waiting on some kind of return, Taurus second house, know that it's coming. It's just probably not yet going to be this month. Don't get discouraged, okay? That, or you are investing in the wrong kind of tree. Like, if you've got a tree that only blooms once every 3,000 fucking years, well, if you want it by this time next year, you might want to start nurturing a different kind of tree, okay? Just putting that out there. Taurus third house of communication. We got the Chariot. So this is about emotional expression, divine intervention, and miracle. When you speak from your deep truth about your emotions, when you talk about what you feel or sense about other people, you know, if you feel like someone is falling out of interest, or if someone is detached in your family and you're worried about them, like, talk about your feelings and what you're sensing. because it could, and be vulnerable in that truth, because it could shift things for the better, as opposed to not saying anything and just hoping that it rides out, right? Or that it's all okay when you sense that it's not. So if you need to communicate your emotions and what you feel or what you're intuitively picking up on, do that. That's Taurus third house. Taurus fourth house, we have the Page of Pentacles. Fourth house is the house of home and or the house of the mother, okay, maternal energy. So with the Page of Pentacles, this is a seed being planted. It is creating or seizing an opportunity. You might want to put in applications for a new home, like applications for a new apartment, or applications to see if you get approved for the loan you need, things like that, like testing the water, or dropping the idea to someone that you might want to create a more um, cohabitable environment with, right? Especially if you're on your own. It's something to either pulling them into your space and cohabitating with them, or allowing the improvement of the home, seeing if they're willing to change things up, because this is creating or seizing an opportunity. It could also definitely mean a child. So if you are a female and you have Taurus fourth house, you may find out that you are conceiving, and or if you're pregnant, having birth this month, okay, for September. Taurus fifth house, we have the Nine of Swords. If you have Taurus fifth house being purpose, passion, sex, creativity, you are feeling more than underwhelmed. Okay, Taurus ruling the fifth house, more than underwhelmed. I think you might be having nightmares, you might be having creative blocks, you might feel like you're not getting any of the energy that you're putting out back, or worried to death that all the energy you're putting out is not going to be returned to you and reciprocated. You might be having extreme anxiety about projects that are not getting off the ground, or dealing super stress, if you are in fact in a misaligned career. Okay, if you are not actually doing something in alignment with your passion or your soul, and you're just kind of doing it because the pay is good, you may find that you are dealing with extreme difficulty, because Spirit is pushing you in the direction of your soul song, your soul's passion, and out of what is just traditionally or culturally acceptable because of financial reasons. Okay. Because this can also represent sexual intimacy and things like that. Just be aware of, I'm hearing be aware of STDs and things like that. Like if you're going to stress out over it and freak out over it, it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay, if that is the case. Taurus, sixth house, health and service. You're getting intuitive pings from Spirit, okay, with the Eight of Wands here. If you feel like something is going on with your health, you should probably go get it checked out. You might also, because the Eight of Wands is ruled by Sagittarius, make sure that you're looking at the long-term future. So let's just say you have a habit of smoking, like you might want to consider quitting. You know what I mean? Because Sagittarius is all about long views. It's typically a Virgo ruled house, and it rules circulation. So you might not realize you're manifesting heart disease, blood disease, circulatory problems, things like that. So, if this crossed you in divine time and you've got Taurus sixth house, Spirit's probably nudging you to stop doing things that are bad for your health, right? Whether it's smoking or drinking or medications that you really don't need, it could even be things like anything that Spirit is pinging you towards. You'll know better than anything else what that is. And if you need to get out of the house and people more, okay, be more involved in community or your service to others, something that feels really good in soul to do, because Virgo is also a very charitable sign. It may be your cue to work with the public on a level that is more divinely aligned for you. Okay. Taurus, 7th house. We have the Justice card, 7th house of partnerships with justice there. You may be getting married and you may be getting divorced. Justice is a legal card. It is also a card of balance and karma and other contracts. So if you're dealing with Libra in the 2nd house, or Libra in the 2nd house, interesting. Taurus in the 7th house with the Justice card there, you may be getting married or divorced. You may also be getting into contracts with business partners, because partnerships is not just romantic, okay? It's not just romantic. You may be signing contracts with partners on a business level, or co-signing for different things depending on what else is going on in your chart and what planetary placements you have there, okay? But 7th house Taurus, justice, definitely talks about contracts, most likely legally binding ones. All right, and big ones. Also, you may, on a random, depending on what the fuck is in your 7th house, especially if it's malefics, be dealing with a partner who ends up in fucking jail or gets busted for some shit that they've been, legally bound to and putting off. Like, there could be all kinds of crazy shit that comes along with that card, but it's all legal based, all right, for September. Mind you, as above and so below. If their energy is of debt, energetic debt, and they owe, Spirit's probably cashing out. And likewise for yourself. Hopefully, you're just getting married. Hopefully you're just getting married, and that's great. Taurus in the 8th house. We do have the 10 of Cups, and this is a dream come true. The 8th house is of legacy, inheritance, death, rebirth, transformation. It's a Scorpionic ruled house often, and it also implies children and things like that. So if you do have Taurus in the 8th, know that the energy is working in your favor toward dreams come true in the month of September. This is emotional fulfillment and feeling a sense of complete, right? That your heart is complete and whole. Taurus in the 8th. Taurus in the 9th. We have the 2 of Swords. Now, the 9th is the house of mental exploration and travel. So, if you've got 2 of Swords there, rock in a hard place, you might be blind as shit. Because this 2 of Swords, I mean, she's definitely fucking blindfolded. You could probably easily see what someone is talking about, but I think you might only be seeing from your own perspective inside your head and not actually seeing the reality that they're talking to you about. And if you don't know what to choose, it's because you're not taking the blindfold off and seeing from a perspective other than what you're seeing in front of you in your mind. Okay. Really, if you want to get out of that energy, really allow yourself to see from someone else's point of view and not just say they're wrong. Like, don't be stubborn on that one, because it's not a them perspective problem, it's a you perspective problem if you have Taurus in the 9th, okay, for September. Taurus in the 10th, we've got the 3 of Cups. 10th is career and reputation and the house of the father. So this is about the character, right, that you portray yourself to be and project yourself to be. This is a 3 of Cups energy. This is joy. This is abundance and celebration. It could also be third party. So Taurus, if you have Taurus in the 10th, this is not the time to allow other people to dictate what you're building or how to build it. Okay, if you want to create the best levels of joy and the greatest abundance, then do not depend on other people. Okay, depend on yourself. Know that you are the person for the job. You can get it done. Okay, there is no one else better than you to do what you need to get done and create what you want to create. No one has the vision that you have like you do. So if you want to do joy as a thing, if you want to do abundance as a thing, like now would be the time to step up and take charge and really um, create it the way you want to create it. Okay. Taurus in the 11th house, we have the Nine of Pentacles. 11th house is hopes, dreams, goals, friends, things like that, social circles, soul family. Nine of Pentacles is a very single, independent card. So this really might be Taurus 11th house, your time to just kind of do your own thing. Okay? And not invest outside of yourself so much. Like if you're going out to the bar and you're used to buying everybody around, like now would be the time to either not go out to the bar or just simply buy for yourself. Like everybody else can buy their own fucking drinks. You're nobody else's wallet. You know what I mean? Like you're not their bank account. You're not, don't let people free to load off of you, you know? And if you have your own vision of what you want to create goals wise in your life, if someone is not totally down to build it with you because they're going to be a part of it, then please do it on your own. You know, don't get distracted and really focus on your dreams. Really, really focus on your dreams this month. Okay. For Taurus 12th house, if Taurus is in your 12th house, we got the Fool card. Now, the 12th house is that of self-undoing and delusion, which is essentially the house of fear. Okay, the 12th house is the house of our fears. So Taurus 12th house might really need to take a leap of faith in a completely new direction, potentially towards something or someone in your past. And it's terrifying, but that's kind of what you have to override and do. Because if you're not going to take a leap of faith and you're not going to go back to some kind of happy checkpoint and start there, you're probably going to end up unraveling a bunch of shit and end up in some fucking horrible manifestation. Because the 12th house, when we give into the fears, when we give into the fear of the 12th house, we literally undo the self with that illusion. So you may even think that there's no possible new beginning. It's impossible. There's no fresh start because the Fool represents fresh starts and clean slates. You might feel like there's no clean slate possible, no fresh start possible. When that fear would send you down the wrong path. That thought process would send you down the wrong path. So if you have Taurus in the 12th house, fucking jump. Fucking jump. You might be terrified to jump, which means it's exactly when you have to jump. I literally just posted a meme that crossed my path about that yesterday. So, Taurus 12th house, go back to a memory or a time where you were genuinely feeling happy and grateful and start there. Start there on that thought, hold on to that thought, and then jump. Take the leap of faith and jump. Leave all your heavy baggage, all your heavy energy, your heavy emotions, your heavy mental stress, right? And just drop it. Just drop it. Like literally take it out of your head, pull it, like take your hands and pull the stress and the crazy thoughts and the fears out of your head, put it over there and just fucking leave it there. It's not in your head. Like take the fears out of it because something is asking you, especially because the Fool is Uranus's card. If Uranus is in your 12th house, this is where you absolutely have to shatter, and obliterate your fears that you may have held on to for a long time, fears that have probably built up in your subconscious and your psyche from, you know, reoccurring events, reoccurring cycles over and over and over and over again. It's like being in relationships with people who have cheated on you, right? Or left you over and over and over. And then you finally meet somebody who would never fucking cheat on you, but you're terrified that they're like everybody else and they're not like everybody else. If you fear that they're like everybody else and you take actions based on that fear that they're like everybody else and they're just going to cheat on me anyway, then you're not actually going to give the person who would never fucking do that to you the proper time, attention, energy, consideration, affection, investment, none of it. It's going to be slacking hardcore because, well, they're just like everybody else anyway. You know what I mean? This is where you shatter fears that have been preconditioned through negative experience, okay, and negative experience cycles. So, Taurean energy, okay? The overall guidance, remember virtue. Acknowledge your loving spiritual attributes that encourage others to grow. Know that no matter what situation you're in, what situation you're moving into, or whatever situation you are leaving, that your presence did not go without cause or purpose to shift others into stability, even if it's slow coming. Okay, even if it is slow coming, like allow yourself to be patient in the unfolding of your own energy and how your ripple affects other people in the long run. Okay, because Taurus is that slow and steady wins the race. We get there in the end, and it's more stable and consistent than any other sign could have created. You know what I mean? So Taurus, you're ruled by Venus. You know, a lot to be grateful for and a lot of beauty that comes from just knowing you. So if that is also, let's just say, a fear of yours, that you don't make an impression on souls, stop lying to yourself. Okay? It's Taurian energy. Moving into Gemini. Gemini energy. Houses ruled by Gemini. Houses ruled by Gemini. Alright, Spirit, please. First house, Gemini rising. Gemini second house. Gemini third house. Fourth house. Fifth house. Sixth house. Seventh house. Eighth house. Ninth. 10th. 11th. And sorry guys, I had a phone call come in. Alright, bottom of the deck, Gemini, is the 9 of Wands. Top of the deck is the Emperor. Overall guidance for Gemini and energy. Expression. Who don't know that? Mars in your sign. Who don't know that? Okay. So, Gemini. If you are Gemini rising, big focus is on the Four of Wands. It is at 11:11. Find your inner twin flame energy, especially because that's opposing the 7th house energy, which is the dream. So make sure you're definitely focusing on your own inner stability, your own inner fire. Life is not about other people and their happiness and their joy. Life is about you and your happiness and your joy first. That ripple gets spread to other people, and they eventually learn how to create their own joy and happiness from within. But if you're a Gemini rising, this is where you get really fucking passionate about yourself and what you want. and what you want. Who is your partner? You know what I mean? This Four of Wands can indicate marriage. Like, who's your partner? Who is it that brings you joy? Who is it that when you think of them and the way they are, that you just light up because their energy is light, right? They're not a burden to you. Get out of the mindset, Gemini risings, that you have to create the happiness or joy for other people to your own detriment. If you don't want to fucking deal with certain people anymore because their problems are their fucking problems. It's like a not my monkeys, not my circus. It is not your fucking problem. It is not your job to de-stress them. It is not your job to save them money. It is not your job to get them out of a tight spot. It is not your job to coddle them. It is not your job to put their joy before your own. Point blank period. Gemini first house. You fucking matter. Okay? Gemini risings, you fucking matter. Stop treating yourself like you fucking don't. Okay? Stop treating yourself like you fucking don't. Gemini second house. Second house is possessions. We got the Knight of Cups. So Knight of Cups, second house. Gemini, for the month of September, you might really want to express gratitude for people that help you, because this is about gratitude. This is about emotional communications and a house of possessions. So the more grateful you are, the more gratitude you express, and not just with words, but reciprocity. Right? Maybe you can't always be there for every single person when they need $20, but you can be there when they need somebody to talk to at 2 a.m. and it's fucking serious. You know what I mean? And maybe this person doesn't mind giving you a ride when you need it because your car broke down. You know what I mean? And you're not stuck paying for an Uber, because second house, possessions and money and finances, it's not just about items. Okay, it's also about money saved and things salvaged. And to be fair, it's also about people that we feel belong in our life. So if you have people that you just are grateful for, this is a month where you should absolutely be expressing that gratitude. Appreciating the fact that they're in your life the way that they are, and they're there for you in whatever ways that they are. Okay? Gemini second house. Gemini third house, we got the Two of Cups, which is a lovely card to have. I mean, this is about Gemini third house with the Two of Cups. That's you and a soulmate chatting it up at like 3 o'clock in the morning until the sun comes up. You might be all about soulmate energy and connecting with people, having long I understand you and you understand me type conversations. You might also be called to give a lot of love advice, okay? To give a lot of love advice. Being like a marriage counselor, a relationship counselor, right, is what you're going to feel like this month. Gemini, fourth house. Fourth house, we have the Seven of Cups. So if you have Gemini fourth house, Seven of Cups is not knowing what fucking path to choose. Too many options. And the fourth house is about home. It's about home and it's maternal energy. Okay, mother energy. So you might not know what to do in regards to your home, in regards to your mother and or being a mother, or your own maternal energy if you are not, a mother or able to be one, okay? You might be questioning or confused about your ability to be more nurturing, to be more committed to emotional connection and stability, because it's not the home, it's not the house of the house, it is the house of home. There's a difference between a house and a home. A house is an empty structure, it's a building, but a home is where the heart is. Home is where the heart is. And if you're confused in September, it's because your house doesn't feel like home. And I would really ask yourself what you can do to bring your heart into the home. Or exit and go where your heart is, because home is where the heart is. Okay? That is Gemini, 4th house. Okay. Gemini, 5th house. This is the house of passion, purpose, creativity, sexual passion. It's like Kundalini energy. So getting the 3 of Swords there, you have Gemini in the 5th house. Your sex drive, I would not be surprised if it's completely tanked and you don't want to have sex with anybody. You don't want to be creative. You feel completely fucking broken and passionless. And really separated from yourself, right? You could be experiencing a serious loss that's causing you grief, and you can either let it inspire you or let it eat you. I'll put it to you that way. You can let it be your muse and allow yourself to get it out of your system in a creative way, or you completely bomb it. You can completely fucking bomb it and not see the lessons in it. Right? Because if something left you, it's because you're misaligned from your actual soul purpose or passion is. You may be heartbroken over a decision. If your career is something that you're passionate about, right? If you're passionate about your career or not. If you're not passionate about your career and it's not working out and you're devastated because you're not moving forward or something. But 3 of Swords in the 5th house, that is utter disappointment into the realm of devastation, depending on what placements you have in Gemini in the 5th. You might be going through some seriously heartbreaking changes and changing directions altogether, or realizing that one passion you had is not working out and that it's time for you to invest in another. Okay. You might also find out that a partner or someone that you're seeing is also seeing someone else, right? It can be multiple people involved. That totally bums you out. So just be aware that that is going on in the 5th house for Gemini. Okay? Gemini 5th housers. Gemini 6th housers, we got the fucking Tower. Tower is health and service. So if you're getting the Tower in the 6th house of health and service, if you are not in alignment, like Mars, the Tower is Mars. Okay, that is a Mars card. If Mars in Gemini is hitting the 6th house, please be aware, if you are not in alignment or doing things not in alignment, it is seriously going to show up in your health. You will get bad news in your health. You will have serious fucking body reactions or pains or whatever the fuck it is. Okay, Mars being in your 6th house, like, you don't break a leg, okay? Like, all the best of luck to you, but Christ, like, don't break a leg. Shit. Okay? For real. For real. Don't put yourself in situations where you're getting in fucking fights with people. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. End up falling on your ass, getting a concussion or some shit. Like, it's going to affect your health. Any kind of misalignments, if you're not in alignment with your greater service, it's going to affect your health. Which means you have to consider more than just yourself with whatever it is that you're doing. All right. Gemini. Gemini ruling the 7th house of partnerships. Gemini, this is the dream come true, emotional fulfillment, card. It is the my heart is whole and complete card. It is the happy relationship. It is the happy children. It is the dream. It is the dream come true for September for you. So Mars in Gemini, but Gemini ruling the 7th house. You got a lot of great energy going on. I would look forward to some really happy partnerships, no matter what it is, whether it's romantic or business. Whoever you're partnering up with this month, it feels like a fucking dream on cloud nine type shit. Okay, you're probably a unicorn farting rainbows. Not even gonna lie, you're feeling that kind of magical, and it's just as good if you have Gemini in the eighth house. Eighth house is the house of transformation, death, rebirth, legacy, and inheritance, and oftentimes children. We have the Nine of Cups there, so this is a wish being granted. It's a wish being granted. Now, because the eighth house is intrinsically ruled by Scorpio, I would also advise with the Nine of Cups to not overindulge in excess drinking. Okay. I would not overindulge in excess drinking. That would probably end really badly. Okay. And being really stubborn about it. Drinking and alcoholism is not your friend. Okay. It is not your friend. Outside of that, this is a wish granted. So if you were looking to come into some money, find some money, win some money, be gifted some money, whatever whatever it is that you're inheriting and or creating and leaving behind for someone else, like this is where you could be building and getting life insurance and be really fucking proud of yourself because you got $1 million plan. You know when the day comes that you leave this earth, you're going to leave behind a fucking bang up legacy for someone else to inherit that you care about. You know what I mean? You're going to leave them something fucking awesome like hitting the lottery. But that is a wish come true in the eighth house. If you've been trying to have children and it hasn't been successful, Gemini 8th, anticipate a positive pregnancy test. You know? For real. Dream come true, wish granted. If Gemini rules your ninth house, we have the Five of Cups. Ninth house is mental exploration and travel. Five of Cups is disappointment and grieving, so you may have plans that fall through that you really, really wanted. You might have to reschedule things, especially because, you know, September is technically a retrograde month, and Mercury's going to be retrograding in Libra, but then Virgo. Okay, and Virgo squares Gemini in energy. So if plans fall through that you were really, really excited about or get canceled last minute, do your best not to be upset. Everything happens for a reason. Okay. Ninth house. Gemini may also need to see the bigger picture when it comes to loss, especially family, blood family. Blood family. If you are being pulled, or people who, you know, if you're adopted, then it would be the people who adopted you, right? So, who you would consider your fucking family. I think if you've got to let them go, then you've got to let them go. Though it definitely speaks to blood, like the blood cups are spilled. So lean on people. Like they say blood is thicker than water, but it's really not the case because the water is of the womb. You know, women, their water breaks. You know what I mean? Like, it's the water of the womb. That's where you're the safest. That's where you're held most intimately with the best nurturing energy that there is in existence. So, if blood don't fucking get it, trust the soul family in your life, okay? Trust those people. Because sometimes water is more powerful than blood. Don't be upset if you lose family because they don't fucking see the way you see, or vice versa this month. Okay. Gemini 10th house, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune in the 10th house. People could be viewing you as very lucky, very charismatic, because the 10th house is all about career and reputation, the father, and what kind of character we project out. You could be coming off extremely fucking lucky. You could be exuberant. You can be grand. You can be over the top, and people love it, okay? It's like putting on a fucking performance and being really grandiose, okay, and being able to have things just kind of work out and decide what you want to do and call shots and really dictate and delegate which path you're taking and have it work out for you. Like if you've got Gemini 10th house, Gemini midhaven, right? Especially if you're into communications or technology or education or different things involving, you know, Gemini's strong suits, you're going to be extremely fucking lucky. Programming, all that kind of shit, you're going to be extremely fucking lucky in those arenas. So stick to your strengths. Stick to your strengths in the month of September because your reputation will precede you. Okay, your reputation will precede you. If you have Gemini in the 11th house of hopes, dreams, goals, and friends, we've got the 10 of coins, which is a manifested dream, right? Something in the reality that you wished for coming true. You may be buying a dream home. You may be getting what is essentially great news regarding friends or your dreams or goals. This is the physical manifestation or culmination of a lot of hard work and dedication. So if you've put a lot of time and a lot of energy into something, and you've been chasing a dream for a while, this is when you stop chasing the dream and you catch it. All right, this is when you stop chasing the dream and you catch it, which is fucking awesome. That's Gemini 11th house. Gemini 12th house. Now the 12th house of self-undoing and illusion is essentially the house of fear. Okay, it's a house of fear. And when we have the house of fear and undoing and illusion with the strength card there, you might be really scared to communicate, and if it's from your ego, I could see why. If it's from pride, I could see why. If it's because your ego's been bruised or someone hurt your feelings or they attacked you, right? They came after you and you've got to bite your tongue because you will say the wrong shit. Like, trust me, you probably will. This will be a month to really trust your intuition if Gemini rules your 12th house. Really trust your intuition. I know that is not necessarily your strongest suit because you're very logical, very analytical. Well, they did this, so I'm going to do that. Very cause and effect. Okay? Gemini is naturally very cause and effect. You might want to add your intuition into the mix. Okay? And let that be a factor. Because sometimes it's like someone being really pissed off and saying really off the wall shit, or they're blowing up and saying, I fucking hate you. I wouldn't date you again for $1 billion fucking dollars because of XYZ, and it's just because they're fucking hurt and they're heated. And logically, you know, you might assume, well, this person wouldn't date me again for $1 million. That's what they said. They fucking hate me. That's what they said. It might just be because you fucking hurt them, and it might not be the end of the actual dynamic. You know what I mean? If you don't follow through and maybe recognize that intuitively that this person is hurting and that maybe you had something to do with it, then you could lose them. You know what I mean? Or biting back at them and saying, yeah, well, I fucking hate you too. Fuck you, you know, because they said they hate you and fuck you, so you're going to do the same thing. Well, when someone tells you to go fuck yourself, that's what you do back. Like, you might not want to take the logic approach and let your ego or your bruised ego take the wheel. You might actually want to sit back and rewind a little and feel some things out first, okay, before you're reactive. And I think it would serve you better if you have Gemini in the 12th. So with that said, guys, I am going to take a quick break. We got through Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. I will put timestamps in the description, and I will be back for the rest of the signs at some point throughout the beginning of September. All right? See you again soon.